And we are live. Welcome, my friends. Welcome to week 3 of the early 3022 season for the Grayland Trios League. I am, of course, Omar Krieg, your Lord and Commander of the Krieg Dominion, and your host for this week's fine sports combat entertainment. And while I play with my phone for a minute, let me take you to my co-host, Fohammer, as he introduces himself to you.
Hello, I'm Fohammer, and I'm representing the Golden Suns team for House Davion. So coming off a tough last round, and you know it was it was a tough match, and thankfully we've managed to been able to repair, so we didn't have any like permanent losses or anything that isn't going to be ready for this match. So yeah, excited for our first player versus player match.
Indeed. And it comes at almost the pinnacle of the regular season. This is the final game of the regular season. Of course, we have an abbreviated season, only 4 weeks, 3 weeks of regular gameplay, and then the final week will be the number 1 and number 2 teams facing off for the season championship. I do want to talk about last week's episode, or last week's week 2, I should say. Week two's events. We had the Canopian Travellers facing Fohammer's Davion Golden Suns. And this was a loss. A well placed PPC shot on an Atlas that had already been whittled down defeated the Atlas, crippled it, as I recall. Um, Unfortunately, we had a lot of technical difficulties with that particular session 2 weeks ago. Um, I don't know exactly. I don't remember all the particulars. I think basically trying to use Discord as a knockoff Zoom and having both of our faces on the screen at the same time really interfered with some of the technology that was being used, and I wasn't able to record the video from my stream. Although Twitch, of course, keeps a copy of the video, and when I downloaded that video, there was no sound on it. So, if you're watching this after having watched week 1 of the early 3022 season on YouTube, the reason why there is no week 2 is because the video that exists does not have sound, and I was not going to put that on there. I did post a Cliff's Notes version of the events for both matches, both the Canopians versus the Davions, and the Mariks versus the Taurians. The Mariks won, pretty solidly dominating their opponent, although there were a couple of close calls. I don't recall specifics at this time, and I didn't prep any notes or anything because I didn't really want to spend too much time going over all of that stuff. But more importantly, our league standings with the 4 teams. At number 1, we have the Marik Industrialists at 2 wins and 0 losses. We have the Davion Golden Suns on a technicality in the lead over the Canopian Travellers, which are now tied at 1-1 each. However, the Golden Suns are only in position 2 strictly based on cumulative victory points, and I think there was a 1 point difference at the time. Although I don't remember, and I really should have actually had these standings posted or listed available so I could refer to them. The position that you are in now, Fohammer, as I mentioned to you the other day, is that you must win this match in order to secure your place in the final match next week.
Yep.
Now, a couple of different possibilities can come about even if you lose. Um, because the Taurians had to forfeit, they didn't get any victory points, and the Canopians didn't get but a couple of victory points. Like grand total, I think it was just a couple. And so far as the standings is concerned, you really only need, in order to get into the final match at this point, after a bit more review after I sent you that initial message, I believe you walking away from this match with 2 victory points or more will solidify your position in the final match, which will be basically a rematch of tonight.
Yep.
Now, the one difference there is I could decide to pull the WWE card and be like, nah, you know what? We're going to make it a triple threat, and here's why. There's 2 teams tied for second place, regardless of the cumulative VPs. Uh, Although, if you lose tonight, that's actually not the case now that I think about it. So maybe we won't be able to do that after all. Clearly, I've not put a lot of thought into this. I put some thought, not enough to be consistently concise. How's that for alliteration, by the way? Before we throw out the MUL, why don't we talk briefly? How have things been for you in the last week or two? You had a pretty good weekend last week, as I understand things.
Yep. Busy weekend. Had celebrated 17th anniversary for my wife. So yep, that was
Congratulations.
good. Yeah, thank you. um, and yeah, so got a lot of personal stuff going on, but yeah, ready to be back to finish this match. And I will say though that as matches where a lot of things where there's a lot of pressure on the line, I tend to come up on the losing end.
Oh man, I was joking, by the way. I don't know if you could tell or not, especially with written, but when I messaged you the other day, I was like, no pressure, no pressure. I was being sarcastic, because at the end of the day, this is more about having fun. And it's
Oh
not
yeah,
like, I mean,
absolutely.
and the thing is, like, this is the playtest phase. So winning the
Yep.
championship in the playtest phase doesn't have the same weight or value as it might for a regular season, especially when you have a difference of 4 teams versus 8 teams.
Yeah.
However, still a little bit of pressure because nobody truly likes to lose unless there's a damn good reason for it. I.e., as game masters, we don't mind losing as much because it means the players were able to overcome whatever bullshit we were able to throw at them.
Yeah, because ultimately a good game master is trying to tell a story.
Yes, exactly. Which actually is funny because Lucian, the other guy in the group, who's not here on stream with us tonight, he was in my. I did a 64-man single elimination tournament as the main arc for a role playing campaign that lasted about 3 or 4 months, about 2 years ago at this point, maybe a year and a half. I don't remember exactly when, like the exact time. And he was one of the participants. And the characters, basically each player had a mech warrior, and this was like a minor leagues mech warrior league on Solaris. And the idea was a 64-man single elimination tournament, in order to like boost your own popularity and how well known you were for like what kind of skills you have and being able to showcase yourself. And there was supposed to be like, some like workshops on how to build your persona, how to manage your money, all the things you would expect to go into something like WWE boot camp kind of thing, but
Yep.
for Mech Warrior Gladiators. And I think Lucian's character made it to like, I believe it was the semifinals when his character was knocked out, and one of the other players actually ended up going all the way to the finals. But throughout all this time, like every time there was a player character in a match, I was playing the bad guy.
Yep.
And I tell you what, man, I was like, if I'm gonna lose so damn much, I might as well be the game master and just let the players beat on me and get all their accolades that way. I think that's really where I was going with that roundabout, long drawn out story I was telling there. But yeah, like if I figure if I'm gonna lose a lot, I might as well be losing to other players for something bigger than just, oh, I lost another match. Oh no, you know what I mean? And so I didn't mind losing so much. There was a couple, like I had a couple of characters I had invested in, as far as NPCs that I was really hoping to get a little bit further, trying to implement some storylines for the players and that. But all in all, it was a good time. And unfortunately, scheduling and real life got in the way of that one. So obviously, that campaign disintegrated. We barely finished the 64-man tournament arc. We were getting ready to go into being able to, like the players and a few NPCs had formed a stable of their own, and we're trying to get into like what would end up being their first regular season of competition. And unfortunately, the players weren't able to make it as much as I would have liked it, and so we called it quits. But back here we have the Mega Mech 3-on-3 Grayland Trios League. Grayland, for those that don't know, of course, is one of the continents on Solaris VII in the BattleTech universe. This is our last week of regular season play, as I mentioned earlier. Next week is going to be our finals, or our championship match. Most likely going to be me and Fohammer again. But I am looking for more players, so if you are interested, please get on the Discord. The Discord links are all over my Twitch and my YouTube pages. Get on the Discord, get into the group, get a hold of me. and let me know that you're interested. We've got rules. They're constantly, well, maybe not constantly, but I frequently am trying to update them and make corrections and changes as needed to make a better gameplay experience for everybody involved, as well as being able to encompass a lot of the different BattleTech things like, basically what are the things you as a manager of a team be looking at being able to control, and if you do this, then this happens, and if this happens, how are you able to respond? And so I'm adding a lot of different rules, and hopefully they're not confusing or conflicting. I'm hoping for my players to give me some feedback on that. Speaking of the new rules, I did add that one tentative one for sponsorships. Fo, did you get a chance to look at it yet by chance? Not to
No,
put
I
you
have not.
for clarity's sake, I was not trying to put you on the spot. If you haven't, you haven't. If you have, you have. But yeah, all right. Well, you know what? Enough jaw jacking. Let's get into the fight itself. I'm gonna load up the MUL once I remember. Nah, I don't want to go to desktop. I have so many different freaking folders for things. It's sometimes boggling trying to keep up and remember where I put them all. All right, here we go. All right, and then I need to give some of these to you because I'm not gonna play all of these. And there you go, sir. There's your team. Let's give the viewers at home a chance to see what you are fielding here. I know what you're fielding.
Before we do that, it looks like we're having that common Mega Mech problem where I can't see the units that you've added. So let me.
Oh yes. Okay. So you can disconnect and reconnect. Okay.
Yep. This should only take a second.
Yep.
1 second here.
Yeah. Weird. It shows that you disconnected, but it still shows you in. Okay. Well, yeah. Let me know when you're back in, and we'll see what we got to do. Hopefully, this is not a internet connectivity problem.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm back in now, but I only see your 3 units and my my Atlas. That's the only things I can see right
now. Oh, that's weird. Mega Mech is being weird to me.
Yeah.
Because I can't even click. Oh, I can't click on your. Uh-oh. What is going on?
I think we might both have to disconnect and then rejoin.
Oh, that's going to be annoying. I'm having one of those weird moments where I think my RAM is being eaten up. That's really weird. Okay, yeah, let's all right, folks, stand by for just a moment. I'm gonna throw the BRB screen up, and we're gonna get this fixed. I'm gonna close that out, close that, reduce that, open that back up. Don't know what the technical problem is. We're gonna try to resolve it though.
Let me know when you're back in. I'll let you join first, and then I'll join.
I'm in, so you should be able to connect now. I'm going to go ahead and load the list.
All right, I'm connected now.
Yep. And I got to dig through my folders to find where I keep all my crap. Jesus, this is a lot of digging. Here we go. All right, units are in. Now I give you your units.
Yep, and I can see them now.
And they should be yours. You should be good to go.
Okay.
All right. In that case, now we go back to. Whoops, that's the wrong one.
Yep. Don't forget to change the map as well.
Oh yeah. Good call. Ow, I gotta load the settings too. That's more digging in the comp because of how I organize things. Jesus Christ. I really need to make that one folder a little bit more easy to spot. Okay. Alright, and then the map, and change it to a 21 by 21. Generated for maximum chaos. Conditions should be set. They are good. Alright. We are set. So, why don't you take a moment, walk us through your lineup. For the viewers, well, you had the same lineup on week 2. I think week 1 you had something a bit different, but week 2 doesn't count insofar as the viewers are concerned because there's nothing for them to have viewed. So go ahead, take it away.
Yep. So week 1, I kind of went with a, if you want to call it a more balanced lineup that was a heavy, a marauder, the Shadowhawk, and then I think it was a Vulcan, if I remember correctly.
That sounds about right.
And yeah, because kind of going into the first match, didn't want to like put my best mechs and necessarily my best pilots out there. Going into the second match, I wanted to mix it up a little bit, and I don't remember if it was based on like intel that I had. I think I might have known based on intel, if I remember correctly,
Yeah, you
that there was a
because
stalker that was being fielded.
yep, because you
Oh,
you
that
you made the intel roll to see what the weight class of the mechs and the chassis, not the variants specifically, but the chassis. So
yep, yep. And so yeah, that's why I went. With a stalker, I pretty much had to go with my Atlas, it being the only assault mech that I have. And the Shadowhawk, it's got less. For those unfamiliar with it, I believe this is a Davion variant.
yeah, yeah.
Um, it's got less armor, but it has more SRMs. I think more lasers, if I remember correctly.
I want to say,
Um,
well, I can actually view it.
not that it's like super important, but
Yeah, but just to point it out, so this one does have it's got the AC5 and LRM5. It's got two medium lasers and two SRM2. So it's got a little bit of pokey at long range, but up close it can be a real pain in the ass.
yeah, so it is kind of more of like a crypt seeker, if
Yeah.
you want to call it that. And the Valkyrie is, just I believe the only light mech that I have that's to balance it out, because the way the point system works for fielding mechs, basically it's kind of like an inverted thing here. The Atlas being the biggest thing, and everything else is just big enough to be able to field a three mech team.
Yeah.
But without knowing what you were going to field, and in keeping it in character, my team having seen what the Meriks had fielded before, I basically knew I had to go with like my biggest stuff. I couldn't do something that was going to, be throwing a heavy up against, potentially an assault. So it was
Yeah,
basically just
I
kind
had
of
a
escalation where I knew I was going to have to go heavy in case that you went heavy.
yeah, and so and mind you, you have a 20-ton difference in the assault level. With the 100-ton Atlas versus that 80-ton Awesome. However, I was wondering what kind of loadout I was going to go with, and not that I should have done this necessarily, but I feel like my decision is somewhat justified in that I shouldn't have fielded my team based on what you were going to field. I should have chosen my team before I knew what you were going to do, but I didn't plan it out properly that way. However, I'm going to pull the Game Master card and be like, I still think this is a valid challenge for your team, that if you win, this is a fight that you're going to earn, or a win that you're going to earn. It's not going to be a pushover like if I decided to go with my heavy mech, which for the Meriks is that Thunderbolt that I barely freaking got repaired. Jesus, I spent the first week, I needed to roll 9s and 10s, and I probably had like, I don't know, the 6 standard days, because Monday through Saturday, that's one day or one attempt per day to repair it, plus edge, plus I think I had scrounging first one week and then scrounging this past week. I think I must have rolled like 15, 20 times. I don't even know what the actual number was, but eventually I managed to get my Thunderbolt repaired in time. I decided not to use the Thunderbolt because I knew you were going to go with the Atlas. But then I was like, yeah, it's kind of a dick move. Yeah, but you know what? As a GM, as a game master, this is going to give him a more challenging of a fight. So when he pulls this off, it's going to feel like more of a victory. So I'm going to play that card.
Within character too. I mean, you're the owner of the Meriks would have known that we had an Atlas that we could have field.
Yeah.
We basically had a plan around that.
Oh yeah.
Being fielded.
Yeah. There's definitely that aspect as well, and especially with the fact that Thunderbolt wasn't ready. Realistically, a role playing side, that Thunderbolt wasn't ready until like 2 or 3 days ago, and there was no guarantee that it was going to be ready in time. It was like, just fucking roll with it, Awesome. We'll use the same lineup that we had last week. It worked for us last week. Maybe it'll work this week because that Atlas is scary.
And one thing I want to point out before we get into the match is I do have a slight battle value advantage, and
very slight.
Very slight. But I'm over. All of my mechs are over tonnage on your mechs.
Correct.
But I think what's going to be a key thing here, thinking about this from the broadcast booth, of an analyst who's looking at this, I think what's going to be a key difference here is that our teams are actually, even though I'm slightly over on battle value and tonnage, they're almost like a mirror of each other. We have 2 assaults on each side, 2 mediums, 2 lights, and they're both kind of like the same
They're almost the same loadout,
types.
other than
Almost, yeah. I mean, you got two. I mean, the Atlas is probably a better brawler than the
oh,
Awesome,
by
but
far.
but the Awesome can stay at longer range. Whereas the big thing on the Atlas is other than its armor is the AC-20. I mean, it's got
Mm-hmm.
the LRM-20 for long range, but I mean, with and then you got the Assassin and the Shadowhawk that are crit seekers, and then the Wasp, which and the Valkyrie, which can kind of get around behind too, and maybe try to go
They're
for
more they're more of
back
an
shots.
annoyance. They're the
Yeah.
mechs that you use when you're like, I really just want to get under your skin.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Yep.
need to be effective. It just needs to be annoying. It needs to be placed in places that make you go, oh shit, he's in my back. Never mind the fact that most damage he's going to do is like 15 points of grand total damage.
Yeah. Sometimes that's all it takes, though. But
Oh
the
yeah.
one real key difference here is your pilots. You have three
Yes.
pilots,
Yes.
and that's gonna, I think, be potential. I mean, that's what brought down the Atlas last time. It was a skilled pilot.
Yeah,
and
it
I think it was
was.
a Griffin.
It was a Griffin,
PPC
and now
that
to
did a
think,
leg shot and basically took it down.
it wasn't a leg shot. It was, I remember this. It was, and I'm pretty sure that was an elite pilot. If not an elite, it was a veteran. But it was a PPC shot to the center torso that burned
That's
through
right.
whatever little bit of armor, if any, was left, and then double critted the gyro.
The gyro, yep, that's what it was.
And
so
it went
I was
down.
in a position where it couldn't stand back up.
Yep. Yeah.
No, it was a. Trying to remember what the other mech was. It actually might have been the Shadowhawk that I think just prior to that, because that Griffin, I believe, had 2 takedowns with that.
Yeah, he did. It is a
I want
Shadowhawk.
to say it was the Shadowhawk.
The Shadowhawk lost a leg. Yeah,
That's what it was.
it lost
Yep.
a leg, and you'd made the decision to pull the pilot out.
Yeah.
And then so that was obviously technically a kill. And then the Griffin later maneuvered and got that beautiful Hail Mary shot right to the center torso.
In the rear arc. Yep.
Yeah. All right, are you ready to go?
I'm
We
ready.
got. All right, so technically we should probably roll off for sides here. Even though we don't necessarily need it between you and me, we should probably roll higher roll. Higher roll will choose their starting side. I rolled a total of a 10. Holy cow! Beat that. Slash roll 2d6.
Let's see.
And you rolled. Wow, you came close. I'm gonna start on the south side because that's just the side I prefer.
Okay.
Whoa, disconnected for some reason. And you took your mechs with you.
I'm disconnected.
Yeah, it says disconnected,
Oh,
and the weird part was you took your 3 mechs with you. You literally pulled the I'm taking my toys and going home card.
Huh.
Oh man! All right, go ahead and reconnect. I'm gonna delete these guys so I can just reload the whole MUL.
Okay.
When you get back in here, I don't know what happened there.
Okay, I'm back in.
All right, go ahead and change
that was
your.
really weird because I rolled and then.
Yeah, hopefully we don't have this problem recurring. It's gonna be annoying if it does.
Yep.
We'll blame it on my new internet setup or something. Choose the north side for your start, if you would, please, and then verify that you have these pieces.
Let's see.
My screen shows that you have them all.
Two. Yep, I have my 3 mechs.
All right, and one last time, I'm gonna verify the map. Map is good, and game options.
Game settings.
Game options is good because I did I test play these matches before, and I did one earlier yesterday, I think, and I forgot to implement the settings, so it just kept going. It was like round 12, and I was like, oh. All right, if you would click on done, please, and then we'll get into it. All right, here we go, my friends. Our first player versus player. Looks like I lose initiative for deployment phase. That's no biggie. And we've got some half-decent bits of terrain to work with. Got a little bit of elevation, so that'll be helpful. So I'm going to put this bad boy right there. Now, unfortunately, when you have 2 human players playing against each other, time slows down. I think I'm going to end up having to take a card from Grimdark James's deck. And when it comes time for any larger than the 4 teams, I'm gonna have to do like the NPC teams whenever they play each other is gonna have to be off screen.
Yeah.
Because players can really slow things down when it comes to getting the match completed. Especially if you're like in my case where I'm trying to have all the matches in a single evening.
All right, so you went with the strategy to kind of bunch everyone.
Yep, I'm bunching up a little bit, and I want to try to keep the high ground advantage as best as I can.
Yeah.
Which won't last long. Unfortunately, it's just not going to work. But I'm going to try to keep it where I can have decent fields of fire and maybe at least a little bit of partial cover. If I actually implemented the partial cover rules. All right, I lose initiative, so I'll be moving first. Which means I'm going to put him right there.
Yep. And now this is interesting because you have the higher elevation here, and just to call this out as I'm making my move is that actually I don't want to move there. I'm just gonna move straight up with the atlas. But there's a lot of open ground on this side where I've kind of lined up my flankers, if you want to call it. There's a lot of cover on the lower areas, but it's all mostly on your side of the map.
Yeah,
but
now I'm trying to
open ground here to cover.
I think I'm trying to figure out like how I want to do this. Obviously, with all this open ground, my little guys got to move a lot faster. Like they need to use their full movement value, but I don't want to get them flanked. But it looks like I'm gonna have to go with just swarming that Atlas and hope for the best. I mean, he's my biggest by far threat on the board anyway.
Yeah. Let's see.
Ooh, I don't know. Now that I think about it, that might not have been a good spot for my Atlas to go, or my Assassin to go. Oh no, he's got some restriction, but he'll be okay. Oops. So yes, so for those that don't know, the other two teams, their match has been considered a forfeit because the Taurian Nationals, who were supposed to be playing against the Canopian Travellers this week, the Nationals had to forfeit because of their string of losses. They no longer have. They actually have one out of the original 6 mechs that they started with, so they are in a position where they cannot at all field a team, and therefore they've had to forfeit their match this week, which will make their standings in the league 0-3, obviously in 4th place. The Canopian Travellers will be moved up to 2 wins and 1 loss because of that, which, based on how this match goes, will determine what sort of position they end up in by the end of the week. All right, I've only got one guy to shoot at here, and not good numbers, but we're going to blast anyway. We're going to conserve some heat on that awesome.
I'm trying to go for that Valkyrie. It's not going to take much to knock the Valkyrie out.
No, I just need one hit, and it will crumple a bit. I think one of the other things I need to look at, I'm making a note of this right now, is that all my pieces should be able to fire at the same time and not take a turn in between us. That's going to slow us down. And I don't remember exactly what that phrasing is in the settings, but fire all mechs at once. I'll see that later, and hopefully know what the hell I'm talking about and be able to find that setting.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of good options here. It's kind of, I mean, we can barely make some shots here. You were talking about how it's not a great shot with the awesome onto the Valkyrie, and the awesome is actually, I don't know if people at home can see it. It's actually in a depression.
Let me
see the.
Let me move them up a little bit. Well, hey there, Hashin. Awesome. Thanks for popping in, my friend. Yeah, no, the awesome is definitely in a bit of a depression, and I imagine he's getting some partial cover penalties being applied to, well, I imagine your Atlas, but probably also that Valkyrie. We've got the Atlas taking a shot at my Wasp. My big old head is in the way for some of this view, so I'm trying to reposition the camera where it'll be helpful. It's not always going to be the case. We got an LRM 20 hitting on 10, if I read that right, before it disappeared. Yep. All right, now it's my turn. I really want to hit that Atlas, but the Shadowhawk has a slightly better option. And if I can get him out of the way early on, that'll be more advantageous to taking out that big-ass Atlas. Goodness gracious, I'm trying so hard not to burp. Hashin, thank you for the follow, my friend. I appreciate that. And I hope I'm saying your name right. I think I've heard it like once or twice. Although I can zoom back a little bit, but that we start losing some of the clarity for the screen. But at least you can see a little bit. These figures are kind of dark, so I don't know. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying to present a good angle for everyone. Okay, and I don't even know if I can. Nope, he's just outside of range. Oh, but I do have a shot on the Valkyrie. No, I do not. I can't hit on 13s ever. All right, let's see what the. Oh, I gotta wait. We gotta wait for you. Sorry.
Yeah, I just have one more left
Yep.
to.
Yeah, unfortunately, this
fire.
for the viewers at home, if you're watching, because I know some people like me, I tend to listen to YouTube videos while I'm driving around all day long. But if you're watching, this is going to be a little slower than I had anticipated because I must have missed a box in the settings to basically allow it to where I can shoot all my guys at once. And he shoots all his guys at once. All right, here we go. Got time for some scritchy scratch. So the assassin hits the Shadowhawk. So Shadowhawk is at light damage. We didn't do anything bigger than that. The assassin takes light damage.
Yep.
And
Everything
that is
else
it.
a miss.
Yep, everything else is a miss. All right, let's see.
Usually the first round of a match like this in Battletech is usually, if there's any shots, is usually stuff like this where it's super high numbers to hit. So actually, it's kind of funny that there were a couple of hits. It could have been just a bunch of whiffs too.
Oh yeah, that happens a lot.
I don't know about you, but for me, it was most of my shots were hitting on like an 11 or 12. So
yeah, they were. Hashed, do your cooking, man. I'd hate for you to burn your food.
Right, so I lost the initiative.
Yep.
I move first.
I believe I told you last session, the initiative should be set to if one side starts losing more than a few times, you start getting a little kicker in to help make it so that you don't lose initiative constantly.
Yeah.
There's a more technical term used in the settings. I don't remember what it is.
All right. So I'm going to move my Valkyrie up.
Okay. Let's see. The Valkyrie has a medium laser and LRM 10, if I remember right. I want to verify that before I move, because he might be able to get an LRM 10 into my flank, but he won't be able to get it too much in my rear for any of my pieces. I don't want to move my awesome yet. So, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do something that might be a bit foolish. Oh, so close. So close. I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to put my wasp in that Valkyrie's face.
Got the two little light mechs going at it.
Yep. I don't know if I want to do this because I really wanted to use my wasp and my assassin for those back shots on the Atlas, but I think the awesome and the Atlas slugging it out is going to be a battle for the ages. Be like some sort of Thor versus the Frost Giants kind of thing. The glory of a mobile app. Yep, I hear you, brother. I hear you. I don't know how many times I stood in my kitchen listening to AP on my phone while I was cooking bacon and eggs or something. Because I do love me some bacon and eggs. Speaking of bacon and eggs, totally unrelated to anything here. We went to IHOP today, and I'm not saying this to bash IHOP, because sometimes shit just happens. Man, I don't think I've ever been in a restaurant where I had to wait 30 minutes to decide I was going to leave. Let's see. Do I want to move all the way up? I do. Because that will put... What's the range brackets? Oh, that's going to put me in medium range for that. But it's also going to be medium range for your LRMs, long range for your short stuff. So that's not a bad move to make. I'm going to do that. And then now we wait to see what the Shadowhawk does.
Yeah.
But yeah, we went to IHOP today. My son and I and my roommate, after running around and doing an errand or two, and they were like going in. We knew they were busy, so we didn't expect like fast, stellar service. And again, for the record, I'm not bashing IHOP. I'm just relating what happened. They seated us, and that was the last time we talked to anybody until we left. It was really annoying, especially when like this is one of those things where we got up, went and did the errands, and then decided to go eat without really eating anything before we all left the house. So we're all like hungry. It's like going on 2 o'clock. Like you need to feed us. We ended up getting home and door dashing the food in. But yes, bacon and eggs. I love bacon. I realize I'm just like most other American men and women for that matter. I'm really just talking.
I have a lot of good options here with the Shadowhawk. Probably could have done that better.
You know, you did it. You did. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I don't mean to talk over you.
I mean, well, for the audience at home, obviously, I moved by not moving the Atlas. I was trying to draw either the Awesome or the Assassin out to potentially, get some type of flanking position. But I basically, the Shadowhawk was too far away from the woods to buy the Atlas to kind of like get in there for like an assist. So yeah, it basically I couldn't do anything that wasn't going to leave the Shadowhawk exposed to either a flanking maneuver or just like out in the open.
So I'm going to do something that may or may not be helpful to me. I'm going to put his assassin, or excuse me, my assassin in his rear arc. Now, I had thought about backing off a little bit to mitigate the minimum range penalties I'm going to get for my LRM-5, but I don't know if I would have done enough to counter those woods that I would have had to shoot through, which I probably will still have to shoot through because just because I'm sitting in them. So yeah, I don't know. I'm probably gonna have some nasty penalties on the LRMs, but I'll at least put a laser and short range missiles somewhere in the backside of that Shadowhawk, I hope. But the problem now I'm looking at is that Shadowhawk and the Valkyrie are probably going to be firing on my Wasp. Unless because I said that, he's going to change his mind and dump a bunch of fire on my Awesome. Hashin was blasting steel earlier today. That just sounds... I mean, do what you do, you know? But yeah. That's some industrial grade shit that I will never be well suited for, I guess is the way to say it. Definitely bumping my gums to fill the dead air here.
Yes, and you called this out before that offline that the player versus player matches always tend to be a bit more drawn out because
cerebral.
They think each other.
Yeah, so. definitely more cerebral. There's a lot more thinking going on, a lot more strategizing. If I put my piece here, what kind of benefits will I get? All right, what do we got coming at my Awesome here? We are looking at, if I could get the stupid thing to pop up. Oh, he's got a little bit of everything. LRM 20 needs a 4 to hit. That's going to be rough. Everything else is 8s, which means I'm going to eat a lot of damage.
Yeah, it's basically an alpha strike with everything.
Yeah, now.
Yeah, I was debating whether or not to go against the Assassin, just being the smaller target, but it was, much harder to hit, and I couldn't hit with everything, so I'm like...
Yep. I'm thinking, I'm debating now, because I need 8s with my 3 PVCs on the Atlas, or 7s on that Shadowhawk, and I'm really debating what I want to do, and here's what I'm worried about. If I hit the Shadowhawk, regardless of what happens, I'm still taking unanswered fire from the Atlas, and I have to get to about a 6 to 7 hex range and stay there in order to have the best possible outcome that I can come up with without crunching a whole hell of a lot of numbers. And I'm in that 7 hex range right now, which is why his LRM 20s only need a 4, because he didn't move. Alright. I guess I might as well use him while I got him. We're going to blast the shit out of that Atlas and hope for the best. So all 3 PVCs are going on the Atlas. Now I got to hope that my other pilots can answer in kind. I'm pretty sure my Wasp is going to be squished like the bug it is. Because that Wasp is incredibly fragile. Wednesday, I might like the combined armed forces I put together for Stowe. I've been meaning to keep up with Stonar stuff, but I just either timing or my own stuff or everything that I'm trying to be in, I always end up missing all of it, and I never take the time to like look his stuff up on YouTube, and I feel bad because Stonar is such a cool dude. Let's see. An 11 to hit with an LRM-5 at such close range, but I got to do something. I'd rather fire it and use it than to have ammo and not, or something. I don't know. There was logic in there somewhere until I started speaking. I do, now that I think about it, Hashin, I do remember you asked me like a week or two ago about some Op4 tips or something to that effect. I remember you asked me about it, but you were asking about something I didn't know. It was Comstar C3 stuff that I just don't know anywhere near enough about in order to be helpful, unfortunately. I've got some high numbers on this Valkyrie, but we'll see how things go. All right. Let's see. Awesome takes some hits. So he's now at light damage. The Atlas is officially at light damage now, finally, even though it looks like only one of 3 PPCs hit, and nothing crucial either. The Wasp takes a blast to the center torso, but still showing armor all the way through. So the Wasp has taken light damage. He's probably not much longer for this world, though. The Shadowhawk. Oh, the Shadowhawk took a rear CT hit, but re-rolled it with edge.
Yeah.
That lucky son of a bitch. Right now, that Shadowhawk pilot is thanking all his stars and probably dumping salt over his shoulder or something like that.
Yeah.
All right, Shadowhawk is already marked at light damage. And that is it. Nothing special there. We move into the melee phase. This is where some things are going to be interesting. I got to wait for you, I guess.
Yeah. Saying whether I want to.
You want to. Oh, you want to? If you want to punch or kick, I always choose, unless there's a reason, like something specific. I tend to always go for the kick because I want the damage. Never mind the fact that a missed kick or being kicked myself will trigger a PSR.
Yeah.
But also, it's my guy, so please punch him. I'd rather you punch him. I'm just trying to be funny, man. Don't listen to me.
Yeah. I think strategically, thinking from the pilot perspective, thinking about seeing that shot to the leg of the Wasp, I think the pilot would try to,
try to kick it out from under him.
Yeah, try to kick it out from underneath him type.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, trying to role play it a bit more here.
Excuse me. I like how it let you do all your physical planning before I can do mine. I don't like that. I'm being sarcastic as shit. All right, not some good numbers over here, but let's see what happens. The Valkyrie missed. Yeah. The Assassin missed. The Wasp hits. And the Valkyrie remains to everybody. Jesus Christ. I really do know how to talk, I promise. The Valkyrie has taken damage, yeah? Yes. So the Valkyrie has finally received his first bit of damage that I didn't have marked down yet. All right.
Yeah, just got hit in the right leg.
Yeah, but it was a third of his armor. We got some heat buildup going on. The Atlas is at 3 heat, and the Awesome is at 4. But the cool thing about Awesomes, they have an easy firing cycle as long as nobody screws with their heat settings. Real quick, let's see what Hashin has to say. Right. Well, YouTube is behind. Jesus Christ. YouTube is behind. Looking at 3 squads of 3, exploiting it. I'm assuming he's talking about the C3 or C3I. Pegasus MRM. That just sounds scary. I don't know what the R70 version of the Urban Mech is. Okay, LRM 35. Okay, all right. That sounds disturbing. I wish I understood why people liked Urbi so much. Okay. What am I going to do here? I've lost initiative. I need to position my Awesome, but I don't want to get so close that his Atlas closes the distance and is in AC 20 point blank / kick to head range. Actually, you know what? That's exactly what I'm going to do. No, that's not a good idea. I, too, will keep him right there. Oh, the Rack 5. Okay. God, that's scary. Could you imagine going up against a Rack 5 and an MRM 40 contingent? Jesus Christ, that's so much sandblasting going on. In fact, you should give them the sandblasting. I believe it's sandblasting. PSA or SPA, whatever it is. Public service announcement, skill pilot program. I don't know, whatever. Oh, did you even move him? Or did you scoot forward
I
one?
moved the Atlas up.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you did. Yeah, the distance has changed a little bit there.
Yep. There's only 2 hexes, but
let's see. Perfect. This is probably not recommended, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Yep.
It's time to put the pressure on that pimple of an Atlas. I'll be honest, as I mentioned before and have in the past, I playtested our match just to kind of get a feel for how, if it was going to be super easy or super hard, whatever. I think I did 2, playing only as my side, and in both of them, it did not go well, and they were both slugfests. I think the first one, before I put the correct settings on the match, it went like 12 rounds instead of the 10 that we're limited to. But I may have possibly eked out a very, very Pyrrhic victory. But then the second one, it was a slow, gradual death that ended at round 10. And based on battle value percentages left over, I lost the match. I think technically it would have been a draw either way, but... Yes. What do you do?
Not a whole lot of options here.
Can that Valkyrie jump? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Because I know the Shadowhawk has only got a 3 jump if it has one. Yeah, 3 jump. I think...
Just can't quite get it to where I want the Shadowhawk to go. I think I'm going to move up here and try to position for firing on the Awesome, because I'm not going to be able to get to the Assassin easily.
So, to kind of give the viewers a thought into what I'm doing here, or look into my thoughts of what I'm doing here, my Wasp absolutely cannot stay in place. He is crunchy at best, and he's already taken some big hits, so I wanted to put him in a spot where if they were trying to get into a good firing position on him, I wanted it to be difficult. But now I've got the Wasp in a spot where he can help out with that Atlas. So, my next problem is 1, my heat buildup. On this round, I should be firing only 2 PPCs to stay relatively heat neutral. I might just have to go and hit all 3. Even though that's going to put me at 6 overheat, I think. But the numbers are good for hits, and he's getting close to my face, so I need to do something to back him off. Not to mention I have all 9 communicating with each other, so MRM peg is... Yeah, no, that's... Yeah, that sounds... Hasha, that sounds like that's going to give him a hell of a... How? Jesus Christ. I swear to God I know how to speak, guys. Yeah, no, it sounds like Stonar's going to have a hell of a time with that group that he's fighting. I would not want to face it. C3 is scary when you're on the receiving end. When the entire enemy lance is hitting at like on a +2 to gunnery, they're basically hitting on 4s and 6s, all because there's one dude that is in really good range. Yeah, that's fucking scary. What also is scary is this Atlas in my face. I'm so nervous that AC-20 is gonna hit somewhere crucial.
what was actually taking me the longest that I was debating about doing was if I wanted to use the rear arc medium lasers to give the assassin a surprise. But
I
yeah,
that it's funny you say that. In my second playtest, that's exactly what happened. The assassin ended up in the Atlas's rear and got cored by those two medium lasers. And I was just like, dick.
did the assassin did it run or did it
It jumped.
it jumped? Okay, yeah, because it was 12s to hit basically. So it's like, yeah, as tempting as it was, it just no.
I'm just debating if I want to fire these LRM5s to not hit, because no matter which of the other two targets I use or select, it's going to be an 11. You know what? Let's just hit the Valkyrie and see what happens, or shoot at the Valkyrie. Yeah, that short and fast hover is Pegasus could be scary, man. I'm pretty sure there's a Pegasus with like an AC-10, maybe even an AC-20 on it, I think. Or maybe I'm thinking like the Saracen or something. I don't know. There's a hover tank that moves fast as shit with an AC-20 on it. That thing is scary as hell. Maybe it is the Saladin. I don't remember which one. God, yeah, it's. I've seen those pop up and then realize they've got AC-20s and they move fast as shit, and you're just like, oh my god, I am dead. Okay, 9s. Or 9s. Alright, I'm just gonna... The Wasp was gonna take on the Shadowhawk because it doesn't have both weapon systems on the Atlas, because apparently missiles track on the legs. I keep forgetting the Wasp has those SRM2s on the legs instead of on the torso or arms. It's a really weird loadout, but I guess whatever works for whoever designed this piece of crap.
I think it was one of the first mechs that was designed. It was early BattleTech lore was still kind of like sketchy, and let's put missiles in the legs.
We'll put missiles on the legs because infantry or something. All right, we got some hits coming in here. Let's see what we got. PPCs to the Atlas, 2 out of 3 hit, but still in good shape. The Atlas returns fire with the SRM6s, the AC-20, LRM-20. All of this is, well, let me rephrase that. Let me go
AC-20 misses.
The AC-20 miss. Thank you, Jesus. RN Jesus in particular. However, he did hit with all 20 missiles. Yep. That's 5 points spread across the mech. So he's still in okay shape.
One thing I want to point out is that this is very similar to the match that the Meriks had against, and I forgot who it was, but the one with the longbow. And
the Industrials' first match was against the Travelers, I believe.
Yeah, and how the Awesome was just being peppered with the LRMs from the longbow, but it was all like spread out.
Oh no, it was the Thunderbolt. I remember that because it was a Thunderbolt.
Was it Thunderbolt?
I think
it was Awesome. Well, whatever.
It was a Thunderbolt because it was a Thunderbolt because he was trying to close on that Warhammer, but the longbow or something else just kept peppering him the whole way, and he finally took out the. No, you wouldn't have had a Warhammer and a longbow in the same match. I remember it because it was the Thunderbolt and the Warhammer. Maybe it was last week's match against the Taurians where they had that longbow or I don't know. There was definitely peppering going on. Yeah. Your Atlas pilot,
though, but we rolled with edge.
Yeah, on the because it was where did it hit? It hit the center torso rear. Yep. Yep. But the Atlas is still okay. The Awesome is still okay. And I'm not seeing. Oh, the Atlas is down. Atlas failed his PSR.
Yep, 20 plus damage. Yep, it's down.
Yep, needed a 5 and rolled a 2, taking 10 damage, both 5-point chunks to the right arm. So that's going to be beneficial. Big. Yeah, and he's get kicked by this little ass assassin now. Need a 4 to hit to do 8 damage, and he kicks him in the left torso. Definitely kicking the mech while it's down. I'm up to 6 heat. The Assassin's at 4. Your Atlas is at 8. You really went hot.
Yeah, I was hoping that AC-20. Well, actually, all the missiles did really good, but that AC-20 missed. So
Yeah.
that basically went for that alpha strike and just it almost came up big, but yeah, definitely came out on the losing end here at this round. And the Atlas being down is huge. That's not exactly what happened in the last round.
Almost.
But yeah, having that Atlas, down that early is definitely,
Foe's
swinging
starting
the
to
advantage to the Marek's.
Foe's starting to have some PTSD from his last match.
Yeah.
My Atlas! My Atlas! No! Give my boy up! Listen, you can throw the towel at any time by ejecting your pilot. Just saying. The pilot will not die, even though Mega Mech will say it will. Your mech will remain in the condition it was at time of ejection. In fact, you can have all three of your pilots eject if you want. I'm down with that. All right, let me stop talking shit before I end up in a place where I'm the one ejecting all my pilots. All right, so he moved his Valkyrie. This sneaky git. So here's what we're gonna do to that. And the funny part is that's actually a really good move, because that put you in my rear arc, and I can't shoot you at point blank with PPCs. I mean, I could on a non-movement. That's gonna put me at 5 plus your movement, so I'm probably looking at 7s, maybe an 8 for the to hit. But yeah, that's not a bad move at all. Yeah, Hashin, do that. Send me that op 4 mole. I'll take a look at it. I might even slap together a lance of my own to see what it looks like in action. Although probably going to be playing the shit out of some Cyberpunk after this. But I mean, I've got free time tomorrow. Solasta with Friends, also known as Conversations on Loading Screens, will not be taking place tomorrow night due to one of our cast members having to take a family member to the airport. But, we'll get back to it eventually. We'll continue playing our virtual D&D. Let's see. This is disturbing, actually. So I'm going to this. I'm going to put that wasp right on that Shadowhawk's ass.
Yeah. That's what I was kind of expecting. There wasn't a good way that I could get that Shadowhawk into position to fire on the Awesome without potentially having the wasp get into its rear arc.
Yeah, although you do have good distance because you negated the minimum range for the AC-5, and the penalties that you look at for the LRM-5 shouldn't be more than like +1, maybe a +2. And I just realized I may have talked over you again. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. I was done talking.
I'm really bad about that if you haven't noticed.
No, that's fine. But now what's interesting here is now that Atlas is down, and I didn't get the hit. Well, I got some of the hits that I was looking for on the Awesome, but I didn't land that DC-20. The Atlas is in a tough position here. I mean, it's basically either got to turn to do something with the Assassin, which just basically means the Assassin is going to go back around into the rear arc of the Atlas and going to be firing at nothing. Or he just stays focused on the Awesome, which is obviously, the bigger mech, but he's still going to have something firing into his rear arc no matter what.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to try to stand up and
this was not the turn to lose
close range.
This was not the turn to lose initiative, my friend.
No, it was not.
However,
although I have my mechs in position to fire on the Atlas, I'm sorry, I keep saying the Atlas. On the Awesome, they're not in the rear arc anymore, but then also they're not in a position to do anything about the Assassin. So one way or another, either something's going to have to happen with the Awesome, or something's going to have to happen with the Atlas.
And I think this round could be a very decisive. This might be one of those turn points, or what's the word I'm looking? That's not what what's the word?
Turning point.
Yeah, the turning point. This could be a turning point where, based on which way the scales balance, will determine the rest of this fight. We've got the Atlas in prime PPC range, but the Awesome, conversely, is in prime everything short range for the not short range specifically, but very close The medium lasers, the SRM6, and the AC-20s, those are all at medium range because I'm now 4 hexes away. So you're going to have a +2, +3 modifier, possibly a +4 on your veterans. You're going to be looking at like 6s and 7s to hit. And your LRM-20, you might be able to pull off with like an 8 to 10, depending on how the numbers exactly crunch out. Plus, you've got your Shadowhawk and your Valkyrie in really good distance to do some decent amounts of damage. Even though their weapon systems are relatively light, this could go very poorly for me. Conversely, 30 PPC shot. Well, I'm hot, so I'm probably gonna only shoot 2 of them. God, what do I want to do here? Yep, you got the SRM6. Yep, you need 8s and 9s. I forgot you were getting pretty warm too.
Yeah, so I had to back off with something there.
Yeah.
And basically had to, if I remember correctly, the same to hit chance on the lasers as the LRM. I opted to go for the LRM this time.
You know, I have one advantage that you don't with the awesome. I don't have to worry about ammo.
Yep. And what's funny is going back to the match last week with the Atlas and the Stalker. That Stalker had a lot of ammo in it. I was kind of thinking that it wouldn't take much for that thing to go up like,
like a Roman, candle.
Yeah, and it was the Atlas that ended up going up.
Yeah, it's funny.
Not an explosion, but the gyro hit.
Yeah, it's funny. You can't count on an ammo explosion to take out your enemy mech, but you could definitely count on an ammo explosion to take out your mech.
Yeah.
I will point out that I just dumped 3 PPCs into your face, and I need to hit 3s.
Yeah.
So that's going to be painful. Unless, of course, I roll Snake Eyes, which will irritate the shit out of me. I may throw something for that. But, Mega Mech RNGesus does that a lot. Needs an 11, rolls a 12. Needs a 2, rolls a 1. Don't ask how. I'm really curious to see how the other mechs firing on me, what those results are going to be. Because I know I'm going to take an AC-20 shot. I'm definitely going to do that. There's nothing I can do to avoid that now. All right, 4s with the medium laser and SRM2, and a 9 for the LRM5. Those are going into the Atlas's rear. Let's see how that turns out in just a moment. Hashin, I see I have a direct message in my Discord. I'm not going to open it right now because of the way I've got my stream set up, but I'm assuming that's you, and I thank you for that, and I will take a look at it later, and when I have a moment, I will give you some feedback if you like. And I'm definitely going to blast the Shadowhawk in the rear. All right, we've got some, it looks like we got some heavy damage. We're going from straight over moderate damage and into heavy.
Yep.
Let's see. Starting with the Awesome, moving up to heavy damage because he took a critical hit on the shoulder. The Atlas takes a critical hit on the upper arm. That also is heavy damage.
I'll point out that is the first time the AC-20 has hit this match.
Oh, is that what did it too? Oh, I didn't even look that hard.
Yeah, AC-20.
AC-20 to the right arm.
Right
yep.
arm.
10 internal structure remaining, but it hit that shoulder actuator. Let's see. The Awesome hits with all 3 PPCs.
Oh, boy.
However, this is scary. Well, I'll have some less heat concerns for a little while as I lose both a heat sink and a PPC. Awesome is already marked at heavy damage. Some armor hits otherwise. And then the Assassin hits the Atlas.
Hey, the Assassin finally got a center torso rear
without the edge reroll? Yeah. Yep, you just got to stay on him. Now, this is going to be a problem. The Valkyrie criticaled twice with the upper arm and a hand actuator on the Awesome's left arm. So, fortunately for me, I'm not doing any punching with the left arm anytime soon. Let's see. Medium laser on the Shadowhawk. And the Atlas fell again. Oh, the Shadowhawk has moved up to moderate damage now. He is taking internal structure damage. That's promising. Atlas is taking more damage as he falls over. The pilot has not taken any damage, so that's a good thing. Erna Susarla is avoiding damage. All right, let's go into the melee phase. Looks like we'll have a couple of melee shots happen here. The awesome torso twisted. So I don't think I'm going to be able to do anything against that Valkyrie, but I'm definitely going to have a chance to kick that Shadowhawk. Thank you, Hashin. Okay. Let's kick this guy and see what happens. We get a 7 to hit for 4 damage. I wonder. Nope, we're going to have to kick. We shot something with one of our arms on the Wasp, so Wasp missed, and the kicks themselves did not connect. Or punches, whatever. Nothing connected. Yeah. Everybody that was standing remains standing. Alright, let's look at heat. The awesome is at 10 heat because I lost a heat sink. That won't be a problem here momentarily, shortly. Because either the awesome will be dead or we'll only have 2 PPCs to fire. Awesome. Foehammer, you lost initiative again.
Yep.
All right. And I meant to look at the battle value just to see how the game was progressing. What round are we in, by the way? I wasn't counting that either. Round report. We are currently in the 5th round, halfway through the match. We're just shy of half. We've got a good fight going here. The only problem is 2 of my mechs are showing yellow. Well, the Atlas is up. Uh-oh. And I can't get into kicking range on him either. Son of a bitch. No. You motherfucker. Okay. However.
Well, I
guess who can?
I'll go ahead and say, yeah, I was going to say you can get into kicking range with.
This may not have been a good move because all you got to do now is torso twist and bring all that short range firepower straight in that assassin's face.
Yeah.
That may not have been one of my bolder or wiser moves, but I'm not known for making smart moves, so. I'm going to take a quick look, just in case I missed any of the pilots. Nobody, to my knowledge, nobody has taken any head hits yet.
No, none of our pilots have any damage yet.
That's the one area that I sometimes fail to keep good track of. Okay, so what did you do? You left your Valkyrie right where he is. I think I'm going to... let's see.
It's kind of like a slugfest between the 2 titans on the field, the Atlas and the Awesome.
It really is, and
all the other ones are just like little like flies like buzzing around.
They're like the sideshow attractions or the early fights in the ring or on the card for the night. Yep, I think my Awesome is just gonna stay right where he is because he doesn't have shit. He's too hot. We're at just shy. We're at like a third of our heat capacity right now. And lost a third of our firing capability. That's not good. Indeed, my friend. Indeed. Yeah. Well, if it makes you feel any better. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I said this is probably going to be dangerous.
Uh-oh.
But,
uh-oh. I know that tone. I use that tone myself a lot.
Yeah.
I don't have an exact or even a wild-ass guesstimate as to what my win-loss ratio might be in one-on-one Mega Mech action. But I can promise you I've probably got a KDR of like 0.5. I have lost by far more than I have won. So take some solace in that, my friend, if you need it. I will talk a lot of shit. but it's mostly in trying to hype up.
All right.
Ooh,
Moving the
that's
Shadowhawk
interesting.
Because what I want to do is try to put some pressure on the assassin.
Yeah, that's not a
Who
bad
has
play
not
at all.
actually is the assassin and the Valkyrie. I think are the only. Actually, no, they've been damaged.
They've taken
but,
they've taken a little bit of damage, but not much.
They're the least damaged, yeah. And I don't like the that assassin just hanging out in that uncontested in the Atlas rear arc. So I know it's leaving the Shadowhawk exposed, but
I've have a shit-eating grin, a devil's grin, if you will, because my Wasp is charging your Valkyrie, and I hope it hits, because if it does hit, your boy is going off the board. At least that's my intent, is to knock him off the board, which will count as a defeat. Yeah. And I'm really hoping that fires off. And that we don't end up displacing the awesome off the board. That'd be hilarious, actually, but I'd be like, oh, shit.
Yeah. Let's see.
You know what? I just realized I meant to have the rules open, and I didn't have them open again for probably the third week of the damn roll. Don't mind me while I screw up our nice view of the battle here. All right. You definitely dumping more fire onto my awesome. This is concerning.
Yeah. Atlas
Needs
is running
6s.
hot, though.
He's running hot, but I think he'll be okay when it comes to heat. Unless he loses more heat sinks or, God forbid, takes engine damage. Now that I said that shit out loud. I may have just jinxed myself, my friends. Yep, I see you there, putting pressure on. I almost said the Shadowhawk, putting pressure on the assassin.
Yeah.
You conniving bastard. The assassin was supposed to have free reign. Okay. Choices. Well, the numbers seem to support this action. So this is what we're going to do. Son of a bitch, will you stop hitting my PPCs already? The first thing, I didn't even look to see who was hit. I just saw a dead PPC. I was like, oh, wow, I know who took that hit.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, I'm glad the AC-20 chose to miss again.
What's interesting is that was a head hit.
Oh, well, in this case.
And it was re-rolled with edge.
And actually, I now have...
I'm sorry. It was re-rolled to left torso. It was, different one. I was misreading it, yeah.
Yeah.
But the head hit was re-rolled into left torso.
Yeah. The right arm took the critical on the PPC. That's going to cause problems because that awesome is
and the AC-20 whiffed again.
Yep. I'm so glad for that. All right, right torso and center torso hits on the PPCs for the Atlas. The small laser, of course, missed because I needed only a 7 to hit, and I rolled a 6. The Shadowhawk manages to hit the Assassin, but doesn't really pull off anything special or significant. A CT hit,
is getting real
and the CT critical was rerolled with edge. However, the Valkyrie takes out another heat sink, so this awesome is just going to be a sweaty boy.
Yeah.
The Assassin hits the Atlas, and oh dear, what am I looking at here? Another critical on a hand.
Yeah.
Your Atlas pilot has 1 edge remaining.
Oh boy.
And the Atlas has fallen over again and
Fallen
taken
again.
a shoulder
Third time.
hit.
Yep.
Taking a shoulder critical. Those suck.
Yeah.
That messes with your ability to shoot, and if you play the long game, which we don't have to worry about here, shoulder and hip joints repairing is a fucking pain in the ass.
At least the only advantage there is the only thing it has in its right arm is, I believe, that medium laser.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Let's see what the melee phase does.
Pointing out here, is that the rear armor, especially the right torso and center torso on that list, have almost nothing left.
Yeah, 2 points in each. Yep.
Yep. All right. Physical attack.
Let's take a quick look here to see what the armor of that Atlas looks like. Oops. It is yellow in the front, but in the back, it is getting chewed up by the assassin, which is exactly what I wanted to happen. Okay, let's see what happens. Physical attacks for the Valkyrie. Kicks and hits the awesome. The physical attack for the charging Wasp missed. Fuck. Of course, because I needed a 6. That's the whole reason why I did it.
Roll a 5, yeah.
And I rolled a damn 5. But at least the Wasp is still on the board. And the awesome made his PSR quite well.
And I basically went for like kind of the opposite of what you did. You needed a low roll and rolled even lower.
Yeah.
I needed a high roll or you also need a low roll for your PSR, and rolled high then. That's the only reason I went for the kick, was just I was hoping, Hail Mary, that you would snake eye it, and the awesome would be going down.
That's why I like the idea of kicking the Atlas with the assassin, because at best I'm going to trigger a PSR and maybe he'll fall over and cause more damage. All right, awesome is at 8 heat still, and the Atlas is at 6. We are going into round 6 of 10. Let's see what happens. I've lost initiative, so that means I will be moving first. What in the hell do I want to do? I think I'm just going to leave my awesome where he is. He's too hot to really move, and really doesn't give him any benefit whatsoever in moving. All his targets are coming to him at this point.
Yeah.
Somewhere out there, someone is talking shit about Salama Umar and why they just stand there and pretend that they're a turret when they're in a 80-ton walking war machine. An 80-ton walking war machine that has lost 2/3 of its firepower, I might point out.
Yeah, now the Atlas is down again. I can't do a whole lot other than just try to stand up.
And he's super hot. He's like 8 heat, I think it was. Nope, 6 heat. So you've got some movement options, just not enough to be worthwhile, it seems.
Yeah.
Which means I have no reason to move my assassin. So I'm just going to keep him right there. I know that Shadowhawk is going to come in, but he can't get terribly close if he wants to make effective use of his AC5 and LRM5. Which means I'll have one more round of plinking away at this Atlas and hopefully getting a nice juicy crit. That makes a world of difference. Let's see. Perfect. We're going to do that. Yeah, do that. And we'll form something of a random-ass, janky-ass conga line right there. The Wasp is not there specifically for the Shadowhawk. But I just didn't see a point leaving him where he was. So. All right, we need a 4 to hit with his PPC. Oh, the PPC was damaged, not destroyed. So I still have 2 functioning PPCs.
Yeah, but I think that's a plus to hit, isn't it, when it's damaged?
You know what? Let me see.
Not that it's a big deal. But
no, so it's 4 to hit with the 1. No.
Yeah.
That's weird. That is weird. It didn't seem to make any difference because it's still 4s.
I thought it took more. Maybe it just generates more heat or something. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. That is a little odd. I'm gonna roll with it because there's nothing I could do about something that's hard coded into the
Oh yeah,
Mega Mech. So, but I could have sworn damaged weapons have some sort of modifier or
Yeah, this
malice
is
on them.
big. I got forced to hit on the SRM-6 and the AC-20.
Mm.
So that's gonna be
Fire away, my friend. Fire away, and may the odds roll in my favor, not yours.
yeah. What's interesting is that the medium laser in the right arm, it's not destroyed, but it's saying I can't fire with it anymore because of the shoulder damage.
Really?
Yeah.
That is weird. That doesn't sound right at all. It should give you a penalty to fire with it, or a penalty to punch.
Yeah, it has the asterisk on it that it can't fire,
Huh.
saying it's impossible. Yep. This weapon is not in a state where it can be fired.
Huh. Okay. Well, again, I can't argue with the arguing with a computer is more in vain than most of the other things I argue about. So.
All right, this Atlas is still running a little hot, but
you got to put that damage out.
Yeah.
All right. We are going to continue beating on this Atlas for as long as we possibly can. If I can cripple or, God forbid, destroy an assault mech, that will be to my good, even if I still lose the rest of the match. That's my opinion. That's not based on any number crunching theory or anything like that. Ooh, excuse me. And my Wasp will also join the... I almost said something inappropriate. Join the beat the shit out of the Atlas Club. Even though I have a feeling my assassin is about to go down. Oh, there goes my... You got that? Oh god damn. That's going to be rough. That's going to be rough. All right, let's walk through this. PPCs on the Atlas both hit, but do not do anything significant. The SRM-6s hit the Atlas. We take 2 engine hits on the Awesome. Now, I've already got the Awesome marked for
from
heavy
damage.
Yeah, from the AC-20. That is going to be devastating. And then 12 out of 20 missiles hit also, but not nearly so significant, other than just blowing shit out. The Assassin hits with the medium laser and the SRM-2. Nothing crucial there. The Assassin takes some hits and took a hit on the lower leg. So that is a critical. That takes the Assassin up to heavy damage. Let's see. The Wasp hits, but doesn't do anything significant. Awesome is standing, and the Atlas is standing.
Yep. That was a big hit to the center torso.
Yeah, that's...
Awesome. There's no armor there anymore, so any shots to the center torso are going to be going into...
Then, not to mention, 2 engine hits means a plus 10 heat buildup for doing nothing. Oh, well. It's a good thing I don't have ammo on that thing.
Yeah.
Alright. Time for the kick show. 1. And we're going to kick the Shadowhawk. Need a 7. Your Valkyrie is going to plink a little bit of armor off the Awesome, and it's just going to explode. I've seen this movie before. Okay, what do we got? Oh my. Shadowhawk taking critical damage from a kick.
Yeah.
So, Shadowhawk is up to heavy damage now. The Atlas took a little bit of damage, but it all transferred to the right torso. Let's see. Valkyrie missed. Nope, I'm sorry. Valkyrie hit. No armor remaining. The Shadowhawk falls down, failing... Nope, I'm sorry.
No, it doesn't.
It does not fall down. He succeeds on all 3 of his PSRs that were required.
That was just like Faye's piloting checks when she got both
Yeah.
both legs destroyed on the Warhammer in that other Mega Mech game.
Look at me. I'm a turret now.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, moving into round 7. The Awesome is at an incredible 15 heat. The Awesome shutdown avoided successfully. The Atlas is at 9 heat. Man, it's getting toasty out there, boys.
Yep.
Gonna need me a drink with an umbrella in it. Oh, full hammer, you lose initiative. I almost said insurance. I don't know why. You lose initiative again.
Yeah.
Oh, this is bad. This is really, really bad. I am not in a good position right now. I have some serious decision making to make. That was a very poor choice of English. I have some decisions to make. That's what I needed to say. I think I'm going to make a controversial call here in a moment. I'm not sure. I'm at 15 fucking heat. I have 0 movement capability. Oh man. According to the weapon tab, I am already 2 overheat and I haven't done anything yet. God damn, I don't want to do this. I'm going to withdraw the Awesome. Fuck. That's going to give you, who was the one that probably did the most? The Atlas, obviously. Yeah, so I'm going to award the Atlas pilot a kill for the Awesome. I am going to. Will you let me flee? It won't let me flee, so I got to eject. Yes. So unfortunately, I have had to pull the Awesome out. It has just taken too much damage and completely incapable of continuing in a reasonable manner. So the Atlas has withdrawn. That is a kill for your team, and you will get credit for defeating an assault mech. Congratulations, you are most likely going to be. If you weren't sure before, you are probably going to be in the championship match as the number 2 team. I may not be in that match, come to think of it. Shit. If I lose, that's 3 teams at 2 wins and 1 loss. So we may end up with a triple threat after all. Oh, nice move putting that Valkyrie right in the backside of the Atlas, who has medium lasers in the backside that are still quite functional.
And I probably shouldn't have led with the Atlas. I actually was thinking that you were still gonna do one more round with the Awesome, but
I thought about it,
you
but
couldn't move at all.
Yeah, no movement points, which is fine because he wasn't gonna move anyway. I think if I was actually running a team in this manner, I'd be like, no, pull the Awesome out. There's no point in losing that son of a bitch. Like it's already mangled. It's done.
Yeah. But the reason why I led with the Atlas was because it was still in that position where it was on, the level 0 or whatever, so it could have been kicked in the head if somebody.
Yeah, no, that's a good
spot.
Good call.
So that's why I didn't get right up in the face of the Awesome, because I didn't want to potentially have the Awesome get around into one of the side hexes into its rear arc or something if it could still move. But yeah, definitely didn't want to leave it there for a kick in the head on the
Atlas. No, you do not.
But yeah, moving the Valkyrie, so it kind of takes away that rear arc, or at least most of that rear arc.
I'm going to have a long-range shot here with my Assassin, but I think that will mitigate. What I've done is by moving him, it'll mitigate some of that potential for the damage he's about to take. On the other hand, losing my Awesome is big, and I really didn't want to do what I did, but it's going to be a problem. I'm going to do something. God, no. My gut is telling me to move my Wasp up to that Shadowhawk, but that puts me at point blank for the Atlas. And the Wasp is already super crunchy as it is. Oh, you know what I can do?
Go toe-to-toe with the Valkyrie.
Nope, that's not going to happen either. I could. No, I don't like that odd either. Those odds are not so good either. Oh, man. Yep, We're going toe to toe with Valkyrie. We're gonna see what happens here. Yes, I did not need the computer to remind me that I gave up. All right, my friend.
All right, let's see what we can do here. Man, nothing is very good to hit on that assassin.
Yes, the jumping does that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it does fuck with my own targeting solutions as well.
Ooh. Okay, let's do that.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's the sound of like, that number's not bad. All right. 8, 7.
Firing the rear lasers at the wasp.
Yep, I'm telling you, man, I'm having flashbacks to that match earlier. Earlier I said it was the assassin. I'm actually pretty certain that when I did it, it was the wasp that just took 2 lasers to the face and died. But as I've mentioned, it may very well be a foregone. Jesus Christ, it may be a foregone. I really know how to speak. God damn it, foregone conclusion. Wow, I don't know why I kept wanting to throw an L in there. That's what I'm gonna do with my stream from now on. It's not even gonna be doing anything. It's just gonna be me speaking, semi-prepared texts, and counting all the times I misspeak something. Oh, you guys are gangbanging my wasp. That's cute. That's super cute. You guys are assholes.
It's funny because the assassin was just like almost. If it wasn't an impossible shot, it was like 12s to hit on everything. So.
Yep, and there goes the wasp. Fuck.
Yep.
Wasp is now at heavy damage if it wasn't already. Let's see. The Atlas takes a couple of missiles, takes a couple more missiles, and the Atlas is somehow still in the goddamn fight. That's just that man. The Atlas, as much grief as one might get for a crunchy mech, the Atlas is a scary fucking prospect.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Doesn't have any armor left on the right rear torso, and if I remember correctly, there is AC-20 ammo in that part, I believe.
I would really like to hit it, to be honest with you.
Yeah. yeah.
Make that 100-ton Roman candle.
Yeah.
All right, we got the duel of the littles going on in the back here. See how that turns out. Uh-oh. That is not good. That is not good at all.
Left leg destroyed.
Yeah, I'm going to be pulling him in momentarily as well. Who kicked him? The Valkyrie? I'm going to go ahead and mark him down for that kill credit.
Yep.
Valkyrie kill credit on the light. Defeated. Oh, did my dude take any head hits or anything? I don't think so.
No.
Okay.
Surprisingly, none of our pilots have.
Yeah, I know. That's so weird. I don't think
there's been any head. Well, there were head hits, but they got re-rolled.
Yeah.
But yeah, no one's taken any pilot damage. It's all been in the metal, not the meat.
Yep, which is where we need it to be for that. Got some heat buildup, but nothing crucial or crazy. I have lost initiative. First things we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and eject the Wasp pilot, unfortunately. We've already awarded kill credits. Okay, it's all on you now, Assassin Boy. Minzhou Zhao, you need to do some crazy... I don't know. I almost said something semi-racial, and I probably should not. Come on, dude. You need to do something crazy here. Do something heroic. That just might be it right there. All or nothing. I'm all in.
I was actually expecting you to go in as rear arc.
Nope. I'm all in. I'm all in on this DFA. Need a 6, I think it said. Probably going to blow out a leg joint. But at this point, what else can I do? If I don't take that Atlas down, I can't redeem myself. I may have to retire from being a team manager and just being a game master.
Let's see.
The unfortunate part is he's going to eat so much damage. Uh-oh.
Yep.
Uh-oh. Oh, shit,
No,
he
it's
took...
just that.
Oh, that's from the ejection.
So that's the wasp. Yeah, that's
That's
just.
well, yeah. That well, I was looking at the head hits. I was like, wait a minute, he didn't have any head hits, but I guess it's from. No, I'm not gonna. I'm not
he
marking
blacked
those.
out
Yeah,
from,
I'm not marking those. He didn't have those before he ejected, and that's just what comes from ejecting, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Which in this case, again, for clarity's sake and for the viewers, we are simulating an ejection, using an ejection to simulate popping of surrender flares is really what that is.
Yeah.
For both the Awesome and the Wasp there. They are out of the fight. And here shortly, one way or the other, that assassin is going to be out of this goddamn fight too. I'm actually disappointed in myself. I was really hoping I could pull this off, but the numbers
You
did
know
not.
what, though? I mean, this...
I'm not that
as we're
disappointed.
finishing this up, I'm actually surprised it went this way. For the Atlas having gone down 3 times.
Oh, yeah, and nothing blowing up. That's the
Yeah.
really, really, really big part. And I think ultimately that was a major contributor in whether or not that Atlas survived. As dumb as that may sound, because it's a kind of an obvious thing. But the fact that you fell 3 times and only took arm and torso damage.
Yeah.
Let's see. The biggest thing I need to look for here, well,
AC 20 hit.
he took that left or right leg right off, so he's already up in the crippled zone.
Yeah.
Damn.
Critical hit on
there goes the
engine,
gyro.
Gyro.
I don't think I'm going to be able to pull off. Since the mech is taking a death from above attack, damage will be dealt during the physical phase. He automatically fails his PSR, so these are going to be fucked up.
Let's see what happens.
The attacker is prone or incapacitated.
Misses. Yep, he missed the attack from above.
Yep.
Hello,
Well, hello there. Who's this?
Lucian.
Oh, hey. Oh, my God. It's been a long time, my friend. Holy cow. Welcome.
Yeah.
We're literally just finishing up this match because my third mech is effectively crippleized. Oh, look at that. He won by destroying 92% of the BV. So you definitely win that.
Yep.
Okay, let's go through the final, the post-match stuff here. Now this thing's yelling at me. What do you want? No, I don't want to save salvage. All right, give me my rules here. Okay. Let's see. Scroll. All right. Nope, I went too far. All right, you are definitely the winner, so you get 3 victory points right off the bat. You defeated a light, a medium, and an assault. So that is 4 and 7 total. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Excuse me. And then what else? Add up all. Oh, I need to do up my victory points. But all I get is the 1 point for losing, I believe, because I didn't do shit else. God damn it. So that is a total of 11. And then 11 times 1.5 is 16 and a half. That takes up 17. 17 divided by... No, I did that wrong. Hold on. 17... No, I did that right. Divided by 2 times... Or divided by 3 times 2. Whatever. You get 12 wealthy thingies. Let's see. You get +1. I get 5. You get +1 for winning. You did not have any streaks. You did not melee kill. And you did not destroy any mechs. So just a +1. So if you could roll a 2d6 in the Mega Mech chat screen there, and you have a +1 to it,
And an 11.
Yes, 10 plus 1 equals 11. That gives you, I want to say it's plus 3 fans. Yep, plus 3 fans. That takes you up to 6 fans. 6 times 12 is 72. On top of the 7 you started the match with, that puts you at 79 wealth. I'll deal repair costs later, but you're looking at not bad. You've got an assault and a medium at heavy damage and a light at moderate damage. Okay, for me, I get -1 for losing. I did not have a streak of losses. I did not get a destroyed mech or own mech destroyed. No melee kills or DFA kills. So that is all I get is -1. Now I roll 2d6. And I rolled a 9. -1 is 8. That gives me, I think, no changes to the fans. Nope, +1 fan. Huh, I picked up a fan even on a loss. So that's 9 times 5 is 45, plus my ridiculous amount of 127 wealthy bits. Puts me at 172. And I'll deal with my repair costs, which are going to be almost, but not quite, astronomical. Now the other thing that we need to take a quick look at is what does this do for the league standing? Where is my... Oh, it's in here. Playtest, phase 4. Or whatever. Okay. Marik Industrialists lost 1. Davion Golden Suns won 1. We now have, as I mentioned earlier, and was being very sarcastic about it, we have a 3-way tie for the top team here.
Yep.
You earned 12 victory points, so plus that 13 from last week takes you up to 25. We had 27 and earned, 22 and earned 5. That takes us up to 27. And based on the cumulative VP, that puts us both at, you're going to see us again next week. Or I could be a tool or a whole bag of tools and be like, you know what? I'll call that. We've got 3 teams. We're going to get all 3 teams in a triple threat.
Yeah. Depends on if you want to just do it, based off the, tiebreaker situation or, whether technically they're all, tied for 3-way tie for first or whatever. And,
yeah. I'm really tempted because what that would do is it would be basically a rematch, but with a bot thrown in for shits and giggles.
Yeah. And you know what? I mean, it's trios, right? I mean, from my perspective, I think that would be a great way to call, final, championship matches, a 3-way if you want. I think there's, potential there for story-wise to, kind of go that route.
Yeah.
If you want to. It just depends on if you want
and you know what? This is
match or,
And this is like, it's almost Max nix, as they would say in Germany. It doesn't matter because after next week, everything reverts to what it was at the beginning of week 1. None of this is what's the word I'm looking for? Permanent, because this was just the play test. Because imagine taking my Marik Industrialists forward into another season with 170 something freaking wealth compared to the Taurian Nationals who have like nothing. That just feels like so much cheating. But yeah, like looking at my Industrialists here, we earned, what did we earn for VP this week? 5. I'm looking at a different tab. We gained 1 new fan, so we earned 45. Like cumulatively, let's see. No, that's not what I want. What's the thingy for the whole column? I don't remember shit. Yeah, we'll just do that. We've earned 197 wealth for the Industrialists. And only in a few weeks because, yeah, that's just ridiculous. Good match, my friend. That was a good fight. I really enjoyed
It
that.
honestly did not go the way that I thought it was going to. I thought with those two, three pilots, especially one of them being in the awesome with the, basically the three, energy based sniper rifles there,
Mm-hmm.
I, that's how the Atlas went down in, the last match.
Yeah.
And the Shadowhawk too. It just got those, you know, good hits with the, precision weapons. And I thought that was what was going to happen here again, especially when the Atlas went down once. I mean, that was big. I thought that was the end of the match. Then it went down twice, and then it went down the
And then for
third
good
time.
measure.
Yeah, and what was amazing is it stood up all those times too. I don't
Yeah.
think it had like anything like really crazy because I don't think it took like any like criticals to the legs or the gyros or anything. But I still want to say it was like sixes or something that it had to like stand back up on or something.
Well, your
like that,
piloting skill. Well, it's a +2 P. Jesus, if I'm not mistaken, off the top of my head, it's +2 to standing up, and your pilot was a 3-4, so that's a 6. If you had any, and basically +1 for each leg actuator that might have gone out. But I
Yeah, and
don't
I
think
don't
you
think there
had more
was
than
any
one or
leg hits.
two
Yeah.
across all three of your mechs. I think if anybody was eating them was, well, no, because you kept getting arm actuators and shoulders and shit
Yeah,
and
I think it was the
hands.
arms that were taking the
I think your
beat.
hands are broken on the Atlas. Like
Yeah.
they're both just mangled.
Because its best weapons are in the torso, so
Yep.
they can afford to lose the hands. But yeah, I mean, I was amazed that it was able to stand back up. Because sixes, again, it's not obviously when you're doing piloting checks against sixes. Eventually, you're going to roll below that. It's just, and then that just gets even worse. Is then you're falling down potentially on parts that have already taken damage. It's really easy for stuff to get criticals. Then ammo explodes on fall damage, especially on like rear arcs and stuff. It's messy, and I don't know. I think like role playing wise, I think the fans are probably like trying to give that pilot, what's her name, Erna,
Mm-hmm.
a like a nickname or something.
Yeah.
For being able to get knocked down three times and stand back up. And go all the way to the end of the match. That was big. And once those AC-20 started hitting, yeah, that AC-20 hit to the
Oh
center
Jesus.
torso. I mean, it just blew
That
through everything
killed.
that was left. And yeah,
That
two
killed.
criticals on the
That.
engine.
That was like watching your Atlas get killed again last week,
Yeah,
because it was a double gyro kill or double gyro hit from a single PPC shot.
yep.
In this
And it
case,
got knocked down from that from the gyro. So
yeah.
it was
And this time it was me taking a double engine from an AC-20.
yeah.
That really. I
Plus,
mean,
you already
now
had
to be
some heat
fair,
damage.
I could have kept that awesome in one more round, but also thinking as a team manager, would you let that awesome stay in for one more round to do possibly 10 to 11 points of damage at the risk of being utterly destroyed?
Yeah,
So I think that was part of what motivated me to pulling the awesome out. Even never mind the fact that after next week, none of this matters as far as any sort of long-term standings or whatever, because when we start late 3022, it's going to be a fresh start for all the teams, no matter who's there, who's not. Um, the That awesome death, as I said, I had a feeling that whatever happened in that round was going to be a harbinger, if you will, of what's to come. And I definitely did not like. I wanted to keep fighting even with the awesome. I wanted to keep fighting even with only the assassin in the match, at least one more round. But that DFA didn't work, and the problem, I think, what defeated that DFA, as what tends to defeat DFAs, is being shot a bunch of times.
yeah.
If the criticals hadn't gone as they had, if the shots had missed, that DFA could have been pulled off. I don't know if it would have made any difference. I doubt it. I might have been able to finish off the Atlas, but probably taken too much damage to stay in the fight much longer myself. I was at that point. I was prepared for, at best, running the clock, playing all 10 rounds and somehow managing to survive with my Atlas, but not really effectively accomplishing much.
Yeah, that what really was the game changer was that Atlas was like super lucky, not being knocked down three times, had at
God.
least two edge rerolls.
Uh-huh.
and nothing went through on the rear torso, and that assassin spent like what was it, like 3-4 rounds in its
Oh
rear
yeah.
arc.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That might that might also have been another moment where I lost the fight, was pulling him out of that arc to go towards the front. Um, that may have also been a moment where maybe, if somebody were to rewind it and make a different decision, if you save the video game before making that call,
yeah.
that may have played things out. But even then, like by that point, it was almost a foregone conclusion that this match was already over against me. Any chance of me winning this fight had evaporated by that point, simply because.
Actually, I think that last round where the awesome, or yeah, where the awesome ejected. I think the only, if I remember correctly, I think you won the initiative, so I moved first, and I moved my Atlas up. It actually probably would have been beneficial if I had won initiative,
Right.
and then you had moved first and
15
moved
minutes.
your awesome
All
right
right. Thank you very
into
much.
standing uh one level above on that Atlas, and had an opportunity for that kick, and then kept the assassin in its rear arc. Then it's looking at a kick from the front, point blank, even though that's not optimal for PPCs, but then it's got the rear arc from the assassin. That would have been the only thing I think maybe would have kept that awesome in one more round, was just,
Yeah.
a Hail Mary, kick to the head on the front, rear arc, assassin, and that could have been the only thing that maybe might have swung it once that critical on the engine happened to the awesome.
Yeah, I think also playing my awesome more at range would have been better. There was an elite pilot in there. There was a couple of spots that I might have been able to use as firing nests, um, but I don't know if it would have been effective. A lot of my play style tends to be close to range and the biggest, baddest mech you've got, and then beat the shit out of the opponent mech.
Yeah.
And I think some of that lingered, and I knew I wanted to get close, but I didn't want to get too close because I didn't want to get hammered by missiles all the time. But the problem, of course, is obviously as you draw closer, you're taking a lot more fire, and I got super lucky eating only 2 out of 4 or 3 out of 5 AC-20 rounds.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it was just, of course, it was one of those AC-20 rounds that I took straight to the chest that blew out my heart, basically, of the mech,
Yep.
the engine. But yeah, I think overall it was definitely a good fight. I went into the fight knowing it could easily go one way or the other, almost entirely based on the terrain that's randomly generated, and more importantly, the dice rolls. We both had a few misses that could have changed things quite a bit. Um, Maybe not necessarily a lot in the grand scheme of things, but definitely enough to a noticeable difference. I'll say that. There was, times when I hit with only 1 or 2 out of 2 or 3 PVC shots that could have made a difference. Conversely, of course, the aforementioned and very much dreaded AC-20 that missed 3 or 4 times, or whatever the number was. It wasn't quite. I don't think it was quite as much as 4 times, because it was AC-20 that tore out the Wasp, I think it was, or maybe it was the Assassin on the DFA. So the AC-20s were obviously being used effectively
Yeah.
when they hit, and
No, the
unfortunately they
Wasp
hit.
got done in by the rear arc medium laser.
Yeah, that would do it every time. That will do it every time.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is it. As I mentioned earlier, going into week 3, there was really only going to be one match, as the Taurian Nationals had their entire roster of mechs wiped out, except for one, a light mech, I believe. So the Canopians got a free win, which bumps them up to 2-1, and the Mariks, having lost to the Golden Suns, also puts both of those teams at 2-1, which means I've got some decision making to do again. And I think we're going to see a 3-way match for the final championship next week. I think it'll be entertaining as hell to have Fohammer against me and a bot, and the 3 teams working independently. If you didn't see those air quotes I threw out there were some air quotes. We'll see what kind of team up shenanigans and chicanery can take place, and see how that goes. I think we're going to do a 3-way. That sounded
Yep.
so horrible. Taken out of context the way I said that. Oh my god. I think we'll have a fatal, what do I call it, a triple threat match for the championships for the early 30-22 season. And then looking forward, first for the Grayland Trios League, probably I'm going to say within a month, pending any major changes. We'll be looking at a full 8-team season. So that'll be 7 weeks of regular season with a midweek break for a special event. So that's 8 weeks in the regular season, and then 2 additional weeks for the postseason for a semifinals and then a finals championship. I think we'll start that in about a month or so. Nothing, no dates actually locked in yet. I want to spend the next, obviously the next week will be in preparation for the finals, and then a week for, feedback, rules revisions, another week for recruiting. Obviously, some of the stuff will be happening at the same time, but I want to do a little bit of recruiting and whatnot. Hashin says, "Oh my, Omar, so lewd of you. At least buy dinner first." I clearly did not mean that, my friend. However, if you choose to take it that way, I can't stop you. But yeah, so I think about a month because I want to do a little bit of recruiting and try to find a couple more players. One of the other things I'm going to have to look at, and something I'm going to have to bounce off the players, is how we run the individual matches. Because, again, so everybody's aware as we get to the end of the episode here, my vision is that each week the team managers will meet up in a press box or some other similar venue with me as the sports announcer, caster kind of guy, and basically talking over the matches as they happen in front of us. So one of the things we're going to look at is what can we do to mitigate or reduce how much time is spent when it's player versus player, so that we can get potentially 4 matches done in a 2 to 3 hour block of time. One thing I'm looking at, Mech does have some sort of timer function for each turn. I don't know what that looks like in practice or even how effective that is. We could also be potentially looking at reducing the turns from 10 rounds to 8 rounds. I don't know how effective that will be, but just looking at a couple of different ideas. And obviously, if the players or even the viewers have ideas on how to speed things up a little bit so that we can get all 4 matches in a single evening, what can we do? And then the other thing, as I mentioned, Foe, you got the reference because you and I are both going to be in the Brew Bowl. But I'm going to probably take a page out of Grimdark James's book, and that AI teams or NPC teams, when they face each other, I'm just going to do them off screen in my own time each week because that'll be just, it won't be more than 2 matches at a time each week that I'll have to do that with 8 teams on the league.
Yep.
So, but yeah, so we're looking at, like I said, moving ahead in about a month with late 30-22 for a full 8 teams league, which will generate about 10 weeks of content. And then as far as this coming week, my streaming schedule is a little bit wonky this week because of personal commitments. Normally tomorrow we would have Celeste with Friends, also known as Conversations on Loading Screens. But one of my players has an airport trip to make. I also have an airport trip to make on Tuesday, so there won't be any blood and glory. But Wednesday we will be returning for Second Star and our players investigating a space station and why all of a sudden things have gone quiet there. So stick around. We've got content coming. And maybe next week we'll have all 4 of my shows running in 1 week. That'd be great because I can't remember the last time I had 4 streams straight in 1 week. But anyway, Foehammer, final thoughts, my friend.
That was a good match again. I don't. It didn't go the way I thought it was going to. I thought this was going to be a few good hits on the Atlas is going to take it down early, and it turned into a slug match, and eventually the Atlas and the AC-20 came out on top.
Yeah, it certainly did. Lucian, I hear some moving around back there for you. Any final thoughts from you? I know you were only in the last minute or two. Do you have anything you want to add before we close the stream? I think he.
Are you talking to me?
Yes, sir, I am.
Oh, no, not particularly.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, that will do it, my friends, for this evening. Thank you, everybody that stopped by and hung out. I hope you were entertained. That not for nothing. All bullshit aside, and even though I lost, that was a good fight. I really enjoyed that fight, even though I lost. I was really hoping something would happen to turn it around, but, well, you know, as they say, shit happens. Anyways, you guys stay safe out there. Can't wait to see you again. And, yeah, you know, like all the buttons, smash them, like, subscribe, whatever. I don't care. Throw money at me. I really appreciate that if you do. You don't absolutely do not have to. It'd be really weird if you did anyway. Anyway, I'm rambling now. I'm going to get out of here. You guys have a wonderful evening, day, morning, noon, or night, whatever it is for you, wherever it is you are. I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Thanks so much.